Hey everyone! If you want to know exactly why machine learning just became the absolute gold standard for console gaming, well, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're doing a full autopsy on the new PS5 Pro beta firmware to see exactly how this technology ticks. This explainer is going to take you deep into the hardware and software architecture of Sony's latest update. And trust me, the numbers we're about to get into are pretty staggering. Let's dive in. All right, let's kick things off with a massive claim from Sony's lead rendering architects that really sets the stakes for this entire generation. They noted that dedicated neural silicon fundamentally alters console constraints, turning high-fidelity, 60 frames per second ray tracing from an elusive dream into an everyday reality. We aren't just talking about a minor little performance bump here, we are talking about completely rewriting what home console hardware is actually capable of doing.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the AI console revolution. Deconstruct PSSR 2.0. Look at 120 FPS ray tracing. Dive into the zero-latency esports mode, optimize your displays, and finally wrap up with the AI gaming era.
Part 1. The AI console revolution, and how we're shifting from silicon brawn to neural brains. To really grasp this massive paradigm shift away from brute force graphics power, you've got to look at the hardware. Sony didn't just add more traditional compute units, they introduced a dedicated coprocessor capable of a mind-bending 300 trillion operations per second, specifically to handle graphics. This is a stark departure from the base PS5's architecture, which had absolutely zero dedicated neural processing units. Instead of just adding muscle, they basically added a brain designed exclusively to calculate and predict pixels. Moving right along to Section 2, Deconstructing PSSR 2.0, the new machine learning standard. Okay, before we get to the fun benchmark numbers, let's bust a little jargon. What actually is PSSR 2.0? It stands for PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, but honestly, it's basically a time machine for your pixels. The console uses artificial intelligence, alongside data from past frames, to instantly build incredibly sharp, native-looking 4K images. It isn't just lazily stretching an image, it's intelligently reconstructing it, pixel by pixel, entirely fixing those minor ghosting artifacts we saw in previous iterations. Now, what's truly wild here is just how incredibly fast this tech has evolved. I mean, think about it. We went from the 2020 baseline of spatial checkerboarding to late 2024, where developers actually had to manually patch their games to get PSSR 1.0 working. Fast forward to this August 2026 beta, and this Retray neural network now runs as a system-wide default across all Pro-enhanced titles. It delivers zero ghosting, and the developer doesn't have to lift a single finger. It's just magic.
So, how does it stack up against the competition? Well, NVIDIA's DLSS definitely remains the gold standard for clean temporal reconstruction on PC. But PSSR 2.0, it absolutely leaves open-source options like AMD's FSR 3.1 in the dust. By leaning entirely on its custom NPU, very much like NVIDIA does with its Tensor cores, Sony has effectively turned the PS5 Pro into a high-end PC equivalent. The result is just exceptional edge sharpness and zero shimmering, even when you're pushing incredibly demanding frame rates.
All right, Section 3, ray tracing at 120 FPS and reclaiming compute overhead. Now, for us console gamers, these benchmarks are the holy grail. Think about where we started. We used to have to choose between a crisp resolution or a smooth 60 frames per second on the base console. Now, we're getting pristine dynamic ray tracing at a blistering 60 and even 120 frames per second. Because the neural chip handles all the resolution upscaling, it completely frees up the main graphics cores to do the heavy lifting. The system literally doesn't have to compromise anymore. And hey, these aren't just theoretical numbers on a spreadsheet. In the real world, because the internal rendering redirects all that power, you're tracking 2 to 3 times more ray tracing intersections. You get this flawless, buttery smooth temporal stability, even when explosions are going off all around you. You're seeing perfectly clear curved glass reflections and slick wet asphalt in your racing games without dropping a single frame. Which is awesome, right? Up until you get distracted by the pretty reflections and crash your car into a wall. Okay, moving to Section 4. Zero latency esports mode and eliminating RF interference. Sub 1.8 milliseconds. Let that sink in. For competitive players, that single number completely changes the game. It represents a brand new registration latency floor for the DualSense controller. To put that in perspective, the standard wireless Bluetooth mode you're probably using right now hovers anywhere from 4 to over 6 milliseconds. But to hit that lightning-fast 1.8 millisecond floor, there is a serious hardware trade-off. The new firmware actually flips a hardware-level Bluetooth kill switch. By entirely disabling the console's internal Bluetooth radio transmitter, the system forces your controller to communicate exclusively over a high-polling USB connection. Yeah, you're sacrificing convenience features like rest mode and HDMI automation, but you guarantee absolutely zero radio frequency interference in a crowded tournament hall.
Section 5. Display Optimization Guide. Let's extract that peak visual fidelity.
You might be wondering, how do I actually get all this working in my living room? Well, the crucial takeaway here is that synchronizing a few specific settings will ensure you maximize every dollar you put into your Pro hardware. First up, make absolutely sure you're using a shielded HDMI 2.1 connection to get that full 48 gigabits per second bandwidth. Then, head into your console menus, enable 120 Hz output, and set your color to 12-bit RGB. Keep that default PSSR toggle checked, and just let your variable refresh rate display do the rest of the magic.
And finally, Section 6, the AI gaming era, setting the foundation for the 10th generation.
Let's zoom out for a second. We are officially closing the book on traditional silicon limitations. Chasing frame rates by just endlessly jamming larger shader arrays onto a motherboard? That's outdated. Intelligent software powered by dedicated on-chip NPU coprocessors and deep neural weights has fundamentally won the efficiency war. It completely bypasses hardware bottlenecks by basically generating pixels out of thin air, perfectly predicting what the frame should look like. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. As we barrel headfirst toward the next era of consoles, if AI can literally reconstruct native 4K at 120 FPS today, do teraflops and traditional compute units even matter anymore? Or is the future purely about the sophistication of the algorithms? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll catch you in the next one.